Hello everybody, my name is Sunny Rabbit, and in case you couldn't tell, this video is going to be about a topic that is very serious, content warning for seizures, and just a general experience that I think some people could find triggering or uncomfortable. If you don't want to watch this video, I completely understand. Before we begin, I wanted to make a video about this topic for a while. I tend to avoid talking about the people behind Warrior Cats, or at the very least don't speak directly to the authors. This one's going to be about something they put in the books that is incredibly unacceptable. Warriors is not a series that is without controversy. Spotted Leaf's Heart was irresponsible with how it portrayed an adult trying to get into a romantic relationship with someone who was clearly coded to be a teenager or a young adult. Or the ableist comment that Sandstorm made in Squirrelflight's Hope, in which they have both never reprinted or re-recorded the audiobook despite saying they would change it. The way that seizures are dealt with in the series is extremely disturbing. I think it's dangerous. It is dangerous and wrong and should have never made it into the books. Someone should have caught this and said, no, we aren't doing this. In the books, we have a protagonist named Shadow Sight. As a kid, he gets visions so bad that he has seizures. A bit shocking on the surface, and I take no issue with this. The way the cats deal with this in the book is where I fault the series. While he is having seizures, the way the medicine cats deal with it is to hold him down. To stop his thrashing, presumably, as in every case where this occurs, they never give a real reason for why they do this. Right off the bat, this sets off so many red flags, it's unreal. This is not the way you should deal with someone having a seizure in real life. Ever. When someone is having a seizure, you do not hold them down. You're not only putting them in danger, you're potentially putting yourself in danger, especially if this is attempted with an animal. It didn't just start with Shadow Sight either. They hold Puddleshine down in the Raging Storm when he suffered from the sickness he got from Silverthorn. Jayfeather calls it a seizure by name. So what he does is therefore a treatment or a way of helping during his seizure. It is not a case where these cats have first encountered a seizure before, presumably. He orders the others to hold Puddleshine down. What the medicine cats did was the incorrect way to safely deal with someone having a seizure. Not just any medicine cats either. It was Jayfeather and Leafpool, medicine cats with years of experience and training. They are experts in their field and performed what I can only say is what an ill-informed warrior would do in the same circumstance. These books are for elementary school children and or young adults, people who might not have the proper experience to deal with something like this if it occurs in real life. These books could very well be some 10, 11, or 13-year-olds' first experience with reading about seizures in the context of what to do when someone is having one. It is horrific that someone could read this and internalize it as the correct process for trying to help someone who is having a medical emergency. Why does Warrior Cats not have a voice of reason to tell these medicine cats that what they're doing is more harm than good? If not Shadow Sight himself, someone from outside the clans who isn't willing to commit medical malpractice. There were plenty of times to correct this issue, yet there were separate occurrences where they still use the same tactic for trying to restrain a cat having a seizure. I have had a personal experience with a cat having a seizure. A kitten who was Shadow Sight's age when his seizures took place. It is a terrifying experience to watch. It's why it's so upsetting for me to read or listen to the audiobooks when these events occur. Thinking back to that moment, a real-life moment where this did happen, then hearing that they hold someone down who could be scared, in pain, or confused about what is going on around them. The best thing you can do for someone is to clear a safe area for them or to get them to a safe place. Cushion their head and try to stay calm. It is not your job to hold them down, to prevent them from hurting themselves, or whatever excuse they want to come up with for these books. I won't attribute malice to what very well could be ignorance. However, this is an issue with the authors, not the Warrior Cat series itself. But what is just the solution here? I'm sitting here wondering, what do you even do in this circumstance? Who do you ask to fix something like this to make sure it doesn't happen in the series again? It hasn't happened since Shadow Sight was a kid. So do we ask the writing team to never put it in the series again? Is it petty to ask for an apology, or at the very least an explanation? To ask them to consult someone in the future? It's not like what happened with Sandstorm, a small line that could be taken out of the books. The way they deal with seizures wasn't a one-off case that could be removed from the series. This is deeply concerning that it was written here in the first place. I feel strongly about this issue because it's something that I have experienced and I have regrets about. What I could have done in the moment that could have changed things. It scares me to think that someone might not know any better and take these book instances as real-life solutions. In both cases of Puddleshine, who was sick, and Shadow Sight, who was having seizures from visions, both of these were treated in the exact same way. It's portrayed as the default method of helping, using that term very loosely, in both circumstances. Warrior Cats doesn't exist in a vacuum. This isn't a case where, oh, it's just fantasy, or Or they're just cats, let it be. These clans have doctors, religion, and government. Not one cat worked out the best way to deal with seizures, but Alderheart discovered a way to use deathberries as a cure. Jayfeather invented aquatic physical therapy for StarClan's sake. This is something a quick Google search could have and should have solved. I can't wrap my mind around why it's in the books in the first place. Is it supposed to mean something? Is it thematic? Or just what is this about? It's in the books uncritically as the only way to deal with seizures, so there must be a reason for it. Right? I'm going to put links below to various websites with information about what to do if someone is having a seizure below. At the very least, if there's something to come out of this video, it would be that. What more is there to say on this topic other than I hope they stop doing seizures in the series entirely? The authors need to do better. How Shadowsight and Puddleshine's experience go down as some nasty blip in the books. Putting in another would just be irresponsible and negligent. I don't want my personal experience to trample over that of other people's. I myself do not have epilepsy or have suffered from a seizure. If it's not too much, could others leave a comment below about how they thought the issue was handled within the books? Please let me know if I'm misguided in making this video. It's an emotional topic for me, so if I've said something harmful or ill-informed, don't hesitate to let me know. Next week's video will be more lighthearted. I'll be talking about the narrators for the Warrior Cats audiobooks, and then probably a Down of the Clans review if I can get to it.